Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you can hear me okay. Today we have another LEGO unboxing, but it's not a normal LEGO unboxing because this one is really awesome. This is the 7163 Republic Gunship set from 2002. Now it's very expensive, very rare to be able to come across one of these on the internet, but I did, and here it is. So today we're going to be unboxing this thing. Now, I do apologise for any unsteady camera angles, but it's a big set, so I'm going to probably end up moving the camera a lot on my hands and stuff, but there it is. It's a pretty big box, actually, and it's quite narrow, so I'm going to just take you and show you around. This is the front of the box. It's got, of course, the ship itself, with your clone troopers inside of it, and you've got a little battle scene underneath with the rest of your minifigures, and then on the top you've got all of your minifigures, which we'll take a look at later, and then on the back we have a whole lot of the features that you have on the set. So you've got all these things, which again we're going to be looking at later, other sets that came out within the same wave as this. You can see the gunship is right there, if I can focus in. It's just my phone basically. Anyway, these are some alternate builds, which I think are quite amusing. I like how they used to do this. They used to give you some ideas of what you could do if you took apart the actual set and used your imagination to build something else. Like, for example, this Transformers looking mech thing, or this military style jet plane. It looks really cool, and I don't know why they don't do it anymore, but it was a really cool idea that they had. So obviously I'm going to have to be very careful with the box. This is from 2002, it's like 20 years old now, so I'm going to have to open it very carefully. There's only small amounts of damage on here, which is actually pretty good. There's only like small amounts of fraying and corner damage, if you can see. But other than that, it's like pretty much in perfect condition, which is very good for such an old set. So I'm going to get my scissors, because I actually remembered them this time. I'm going to open up this bottom part of the box, and I'll see you in a minute. And here we go. We're going to open up the box, and we'll see the inside. Oh, never mind, maybe not. Doesn't really want us to look inside. There we go, it's open now. So we can see here we've got the older style of numbered bags, which is quite interesting. This is quite interesting to look at, actually. I've never opened or built something that looked like this before. We've got your instructions here to show you the stuff that you can, well, it shows you how to build it, obviously. And then there should be some stuff in the back. Yeah, there's some stuff in the back, some other sets that came out in the same year, or the same wave. You've got 7103, which looks like a duel with Dooku. 7119, which is some sort of ship, I don't know what it is. The Millennium Falcon and TIE Fighters, 7146 and 7190. And a LEGO website. Some more LEGO sets that came out within the same sort of time. I'm going to just build this set, being very careful to conserve the bags, of course. And I'll see you once this thing is completely built. Also, I saw this magnet, which is obviously a part of the build, but it just sort of is lurking inside of there. It's not in any of the bags, which is weird. I've never seen that before. But I'm going to make sure I keep that magnet safe. There. And there it is, a completed gunship. You got your minifigures there. We're going to take a look at those now. First of all, we're going to take a look at these clone troopers. These are a relatively old sort of version of them. And you can see that because they have an old helmet design, which is where they'd have a black head and a visor that is cut out of the helmet. So instead of just having black printed onto the helmet, you've got a hole where the visor is, which is then filled by this to make it look black, which is really cool. I quite like this on the design. An old style blasters, which are basically the megaphone pieces with like an orange stud on the end. And you actually get 4 of these, which is really generous of Lego. Quite good for army building, I suppose. These guys aren't as expensive as some of these. If you wanted to find some second hand, they're relatively easy to come by, I would probably say. They are kind of rare because they don't come in that many sets. I think they came in this set and one other set, I can't remember. But they'd probably be about £20 each, relatively expensive. From my limited searching, of course. You could probably find some cheaper if you did some deep dives into eBay or something like that, but from what I've seen, they'd go for about £20 each. Next up, we've got Jedi Bob, the legendary Jedi himself. Now, Jedi Bob is just a character that LEGO have created for the purpose of this set. He's never been seen before or since, which makes him exclusive to this set. Obviously, this drives him way up in value. I have not been able to find a complete Jedi Bob minifigure for less than £50 on eBay. Very expensive. He's got grey beard, he's got the eyebrows, and a nice smiley face, very friendly Jedi. He's got a brown hood and a brown cloak in the older style, of course, it's 2002. They're relatively common, they only stopped making these a few years ago. But these ones can crease, so I'd say probably be a bit careful with them. Though if you do find that they're getting creased and bad, you can always find another one. They're very common, so there's nothing to really worry about if you do, but you've got the sort of grey tunic for Jedi and brown legs with no printing on them. A really cool Jedi. He's also got his chrome lightsaber. Now, they stopped making chrome lightsabers because they tend to flake, they chip off, which means that they're not particularly good for long-term play. There's a lot of wear and tear that tends to happen with these. So they stopped doing the shinier chrome ones, and they started doing more durable designs, which were still kind of shiny, but not quite as cool looking as these, I will say. So be careful with these. They can be about £10. They're not super expensive, but they are more expensive than a regular lightsaber. So if you want to keep this in good condition, be very careful with this, because long-term use tends to wear them out slightly. But these are all of your Republic minifigures. You get 4 Clone Troopers, 1 Jedi. Now let's take a look at the Separatist army, which is just 3 minifigures. Well, 2 minifigures and 1 brick-built figure, I guess. But this is the Droideka, or I suppose you could call it the Destroyer Droid. They both mean the same thing, and they say both in the original trilogy anyway. So you could say both and you'd be correct. Anyway, this is an older style. LEGO have done a lot of different sort of versions of this character, and this is actually a pretty cool version. For the sort of guns, they actually use an upside down revolver brick, which is sort of, this is the handle bit where you'd normally be holding it, and then they just add a binocular piece on the end, and stop motion, you can do that. I don't know, it's cool. Head can move, that can move, and if you wanted to add a bit of extra to your animations, you can actually roll this guy up into a ball and have him sort of roll into battle, which is another really cool thing. You got this on the bottom. I don't know if it's necessary, it just helps him to balance a bit better, but you know, there he is in ball form. But since this guy is brick built, you can very easily find or just build him yourself by just getting some bricks off of eBay or looking into your own collection, see if you've got any of these things. But if you wanted to buy one online, you could probably find a complete one for about £10. So he's probably the easiest to find out of all of these. And finally, we have these Super Battle Droids. Now you get 2 of these, and they are, again, exclusive to this set. Now, the thing that sets these apart from other Super Battle Droids, because they do a lot of Super Battle Droids in other LEGO sets, is that these guys are actually blue, rather than the standard grey that you'll find in any other LEGO set. It looks so cool, honestly. Now, of course, since it is exclusive to this set, it makes it really, really hard to find one of these, and very, very expensive if you can. So they probably, I've seen a couple go for about £60 per minifigure, so these are about as expensive as Jedi Bob, from what I've seen on eBay. Again, you can very easily go and have a deeper look for yourself. You could probably find some cheaper ones out there, but from what I've seen, it's about £60 per minifigure. Definitely be careful with this, definitely be careful with him, and be careful with the rest of it too, because it's old LEGO set. So, but these are your minifigures. Really, really cool. Let's get on to the actual build. I'm going to just tour you around, start in a random place, and we'll just take a look at all of its play features and stuff. This is the main sort of cabin where you're going to have your minifigures standing as they're waiting to be lifted into battle. You've got these doors that can open and close. Now they don't close all the way because of course you've got this sitting in like that, and it can be in its in position. And if you want it to be out and shooting at people, it can go out like that. This is where your minifigures would be sitting. It's a little bit small and slightly cramped, but it's a very, very, very simplistic design. You just sit your minifigure on there, and he can shoot at people. It's got 2 joints. You've got one joint there, one joint there, so you can sort of move them about a little bit easier. There's one on the other side too, so you can have one either side. They've got the sort of flat plating with no studs on the edges here to make it so that you can actually move these guys around easily, because the door might get stuck here. Obviously it's not particularly good when you're sort of doing like stop motions, because you can't, there's nowhere for your minifigures to stand near the edge. But of course it's something they kind of needed to do. There's space to stand, it's quite spacious if you've got everything out like this. And there's this control panel in here. It's a bit dark, I know, I've got the best setup at the moment. Look inside of there. You've got a control panel and space to put your clone troopers' weapons. There's 2 either side, so one here, and then another 2 on the other side out there. So you can have all of your clone troopers, just put your weapons there, or of course Jedi Bob's lightsaber, because why not? And then you can just sort of close the doors and fly away. Now, let's take a look at the wings. The wings, you can put them up, but really in the film they just stay down there. So I'm going to leave them down there. This is a display thing, there's nothing underneath, there's nowhere for you to put your minifigures down there. It's just a hole. But it's a more just a display piece than anything else. You've got the turrets here. This, I don't know what this is, missiles or something. And you sort of lift it up, you can put it down. Definitely not a handle though. I don't think they've started doing handles at this point. If you try and lift it from this, it just comes right off. So don't do that. Don't do that at all. If you want to lift it, you could probably just do that. I think that's probably the sturdiest way for you to carry it. It won't sort of fall apart if you're touching it, something like that. That's probably the best way to lift it up. In this top bit here, you've got some sort of like engine, I guess, with sort of pipes leading in, which is a really cool detail. There's nothing really functional about it, it's more of a design. This sort of Republic symbol, the only downside to this is you can quite easily just flick it off if you're holding it from there, and you sort of clip it by accident, you can accidentally flick them off. I can see myself doing that in the future, but there's no problem. Just be a bit careful. You've got some storage, one on this side, one on the other side, of course. Okay, at the back, you've got a gun turret there, which is on a ball joint, so you can sort of move it around very easily. Lots of motion for it there. You can lift up this flap there. There's nothing in it, but it's just there, I guess. I don't know why I showed you that. Here, you've got the cockpit, which is obviously where your clone troopers are going to be when they're flying into battle. You don't get a pilot minifigure. You do get more of these guys, which is definitely a bonus. You can put them in here. Obviously be careful, because sometimes when you have a cockpit like this, it's so cramped and hard to reach into. The legs will just come off. It's very, very snug in there, so if you get them properly stuck into the studs, the legs can just come off when you try and lift your minifigures out, and it can be a very, very annoying process to try and get it back out again. So be careful with that, but you can fit 2 clone troopers in there and have them fly around. Now, we're going to look at some of the crazier features of this now. Some things that I find really, really awesome. That are just play features. They're not like accurate design things, but they're really awesome for playing with. So first of all, if you open up the front bit here, lift this guy, lift up the cockpit, you can actually open it up to create this command module. And basically it's just a cool extra thing that they put in. It's actually a really, really awesome idea, because it's not like a part of the gunship, obviously, but it's just another one of those really cool design features. You've got some sort of screens there, and there's a sort of corridor going into the mains and cabin space. It's very, very hard to fit a minifigure in there. It's probably more of a design thing than a functionality idea. But you also get this box out. This box, which when you open it up, has some tools inside of it. It's really cool. And you can just fit it in there. It fits quite snugly inside like that. Close the door, and it actually magnetizes to the ship. I'm just doing this. Look at that. How awesome is that? And if you take this out, what you want to do is have the cockpit down like this. Then, one by one, just close it like that. And there you go. But it gets even cooler. Let me show you how. If you just pull this off, you can take it apart like this. So you can have this Republic dropship, I think is what it is, which is another really, really cool feature. You can just take it off. It's obviously, I don't think that's how it works in the actual Lego, in the actual gunship. I don't think that's how it works, but an extra thing. This is really, really cool. And of course, once you've taken it apart, you can then open this bit up and have the command module and all that. Basically, to put it back together though, what you need to do is just sort of put... What did I do? What did I do? I think I broke something. Oh yeah, I did break something, didn't I? Where'd it go? Basically, to put them back on, you're going to want to have this screw piece there, lined up with this piece there, and you're just going to push down, and then it just stays on. Once it's on, it's not going to come off. It's actually very, very strongly connected. So if you sort of shook it about a bit, it wouldn't like fall apart on you or anything, which is another good stable feature. And did that well. Oh yes, it worked. And there we have it, the 7163 Republic Gunship, all the way back from 2002. It's got so many play features. It's actually a really, really cool set from a really, really cool time in LEGO Star Wars history. Now, would I recommend this? It's hard to say. It really depends on who you are, because this is a really, really awesome set. It's got so many good play features. It's so cool, and if you have money, no question, if you're interested, get it. But if you're a younger person who's just sort of like a casual fan, probably don't. You can probably find good quality second-hand ones that cost a lot less than a sealed, completely in the box one that I found. I've seen a couple that cost about £700. That's a lot of money. But some of the more good quality second-hand ones that have less missing pieces and are pretty much in good condition in terms of like the bricks not having too much sun damage on them, or stickers not being that badly fraying away. You can probably find them for about £300 to £400. It's still relatively expensive, but it's nowhere near as expensive as if you were to just go and get a boxed set, which costs a lot of money. In terms of the minifigures, though, definitely a really cool selection of minifigures. Very, very expensive in places. I'm talking about you, Bob. So if you're going to get a second-hand set, make sure you got these 3 guys here, and as many complete pieces as possible. But that's my advice. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more videos. I make stop motion animations, hoping to make one with this as well. Some Lego brick films. Take a look at some of my videos. I haven't done a lot of Star Wars stop motions yet, but I'm hoping to do some in the future. Check out my, Twitter and Discord server and all that stuff, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.